Well, well. Hello, everybody. How are you? This is the underconfident human, the internet's and certainly YouTube's most irrelevant creator, ASM artist, wannabe, etc., etc., etc. So, thank you for hanging out with me this evening. And yes, I kind of need a shave. I know. So, I thought for this evening's festivities, we'd go back in time just a little bit. You have to remember, I am in my, we'll just say early 40s. And so, a little something from my generation that was a thing that's back in style, maybe. The Trapper Keeper. 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 You know, I love the design of this one. They did really good. So, the name Trapper Keeper. This was as synonymous with normal things as Kleenex is for a tissue. A tissue is a tissue. A Kleenex is technically a name brand of tissue, right? So, Trapper Keeper was the normal phrase for any sort of binder that was arranged like this back when I was in elementary school. And the fact is, everybody had a Trapper Keeper. Different styles, different colors, different graphics, what have you, but everybody, that was normal. That was absolutely normal. A parent telling whether it was the actual Mead brand Trapper Keeper or not, every student from my generation, at least in this area where I grew up, is probably used to, hey, don't forget your Trapper Keeper, or hey, where's your Trapper Keeper? Make sure you got your homework and your Trapper Keeper. And a lot of kids would decorate them and kind of mangle them in their own ways. But it was even on our, in elementary school, it was even on our school supplies list for, each year, is make sure you have a Trapper Keeper. And we would find ways to stuff so much crap into those things. I mean, not just a few papers, but we'd have a textbook or two and some personal things and just really, really stuff it full. So, I came across one of these recently at the store, and I had to have it because it's somewhat similar to the one I had. And for nostalgia reasons, I couldn't help it. I had to get it because I had a few Trapper Keepers throughout my younger years. I think by the time I was, I'm trying to remember, middle school, or certainly by high school, the Trapper Keeper had kind of gone out of style. And it certainly wasn't a normal everyday school supply somewhere in there. I'm trying to remember if even when I started 6th grade, if I had one or not. I think maybe, but Anyways, definitely for little kids, in elementary school in the 80s, you had a trapper keeper. That was just a required, for everything. And mine were cool. But anyways, thought I'd give you a little tour and go for some sounds this evening. Just kind of an idea of how to, keep a trapper keeper. So, let's take a look at how this works and maybe enjoy some sounds. All trapper keepers were held shut with a flap like this, kind of a flexible, and it's Velcro. Okay, got the Velcro off. In the case of this one, to start with, we've got a pocket over here. Pocket. You could put all kinds of stuff in, and of course, folders on a 3-ring binder to which you could put stuff in. So, these folders inside would sometimes have stuff printed on them, like multiplication tables and things like that. But these ones are just name and subject. So, let's see what kind of stuff I could have put in the pockets. Here, for example, could put a book, calculator, things like that. In the case of mine, I packed in a few tissues, because you certainly wouldn't want to be without some Kleenex, right? Definitely want the Kleenex. Next up here, again inside the pocket, could always pack some music. And since I never left home without a Walkman, either my cassette and later CDs, this would have been something I would have definitely done. So I'll set this aside for a moment. Let's see what we got first. Stuff that I was definitely listening to on cassette as a kid. KRS-One, Return of the Boom Bap. Unquestionably one of them I listen to a lot. CDs, definitely. This was the way to go as I got just a little bit older. Digital audio. And no need to fast forward and rewind all the time. Just for the hell of it, we'll take a quick look at the booklet here. BAP means just that. It means a return of the real hard beats and real rap. KRS-One. I would say, just as a side note, that when Boogie Down Productions disbanded and KRS-One went solo, this first solo album of his, probably my most favorite, and I'll be honest, as much as I listen to this one, it's definitely one of many albums I could probably recite every second of this. And even going from being a kid to when I was in high school and driving a car and I had a system in my car, out of numerous albums, this is one that definitely made it in there, because if you have subwoofers in your vehicle, 12s or 15s or whatever at all, this is one serious album. Like, this hits very hard. It hits freaking hard. Without getting a actual bass CD that's intended for digital sub bass and all that, that's a different matter. But for like really hard pounding system banging hip hop, this is definitely one of those albums that, and it's just so raw. Like, KRS just kills it on every track. And I was able to fit a second CD into my Trapper Keeper. Another one of my favorites. The second album from the House of Pain. This is definitely not some jump around that was on the previous album. This is an album here that'll make you want to fight. Other than one of the interludes and kind of one of these tracks on here called Still Got a Lot of Love, that's all just like a shout outs and thank yous track. I mean, I guess with the exclusion of those, this is another album that really hits hard. It bumps hard. And this album is hands down the House of Pain's best work. I mean, hands down, best album from the House of Pain. Not that the first one, the Fine Malt Lyrics, wasn't great, it was, but this one, the artwork on here is all over the place. Like, a gun on the table here, and then a box of poison there, an old broken urinal there, and then some shot glasses, and then a puppy laying down there. Just don't know how they chose all this artwork, but it's something about the combination of these photos and the sepia coloring just makes it a little extra badass, I guess. This is definitely Everlast in his prime. Danny Boy and DJ Lethal. But anyway, yeah, it was easy. Now, my Trapper Keeper, when I was carrying one, it was usually cassettes for me. I didn't have a CD player until, I was just a little bit older. But I never left the house without music. That's how incredibly obsessed I was, even if I didn't have a way to listen to it. My Trapper Keeper, I could easily fit 4 cassettes in there and have room for a couple other things, like some pens or whatever else I needed, or Kleenex, whatever I wanted to stuff in there. But, yeah, so I thought it'd be fun to just go off on a little tangent of some of my favorite, hip-hop as a kid. But, so, examples of things you could keep in the folders, right? handsome fellow right here. You know, I know that I felt bad for this guy because there's like no woman on earth would want to date this guy. He's such a weirdo and, you know, borderline incel. But the purpose here is that in these folders you didn't always just carry school stuff, even though there was a lot in there. You could carry, you know, baseball and basketball cards if you were going to trade with your friends and just different things. Inside my folder I also have some sheets of grid paper and some sheets of blank paper. The inside of these folders, for example, have some conversion tables for metrics. And over here, conversion tables for weight and length, meters, inches, yards, centimeters, etc., etc. Strictly 100% Americanized for sure. With things like our feet, how many feet is something in pounds, and so on. This leads me to another little function. Inside of here, I have my pen. And also inside is the flap back here to keep the folders in. I could attach a sheet of paper in here to work on something. So you could definitely take notes quite easily. And who could forget these things? Watch here, watch here. Everybody drew them stupid things all over stuff, and no one even knew what it meant. But those were, you know, those were the good old days. Clearly, I am a genuine artist, you know. So example of stuff you could fit in there. In this folder, I have a little memo pad for taking notes. ASMR, but why? So it's good to have one of these or two of these when you're in school. I'm sure most normal boys, as they got older, if you carried these, you probably got girls' phone numbers or something, but not me. I've always been and will probably always be one of the loneliest, miserable people ever. So, another thing we could definitely keep in the folders. Books, for example. Now, of course, when I was a kid carrying a Trapper Keeper, I wouldn't have had this book. But as a fully grown kid who owns a Trapper Keeper, I probably would. It has often been said the world's a stage and we are all actors, interpreted in its most ego-gratifying way. This maxim closely rivals Epictetus Crowley's every man and woman is a star reality. However, like the theater, is far less democratic in its central casting office. The world is a stage, but few qualify as bona fide actors. Most are spear carriers, supporting players, in short, reactors. Although these players are necessary foils for the few true actors, even they must be selected with care. A mammoth spectacle employing a cast of thousands is not necessarily good any more than is a world made better by overpopulation. Let's move to man is a selfish creature. Everything in life is a selfish act. Man is not concerned with helping others, yet he wants others to believe he is, inasmuch as selfishness is akin to pride, and vanity considered the devil's work. The first rule of the prideful is to make an exhibition of piety and charity, with a good guy badge to pin to his lapel. Man cannot progress one step further towards his own godhood until he removes that good guy badge. But yes, this will go right into the folder here. other side of the folder. Now this is akin to something I probably would have carried around as a kid. A little comic action. Deadpool's Art of War. The greatest victory is that which involves Deadpool. And I can make a mint doing it. All I need is a major publisher and $1 million in fans, and I'm good to go. I imagine that other than, collectors of an older age, I doubt most really young kids nowadays spend much time reading any sort of comic books, unless they're intentionally trying to be eclectic, because it's all on tablets for free now anyway. Well, for the most part. So there it is. Just a random fun little tour of some stuff that I could stick in my Trapper Keeper. And I didn't even pack it to the brim. That is actually, I think, one of the reasons why, even though it closes down like this, you can force it to expand significantly. Also thanks to the design of this, that can go flat or really expand. So this was just the way. This was how you carried everything when I was a kid. Anyway, so I would like to thank you once again for hanging out with me this evening. I hope you liked the sounds and just kind of found something to sort of randomly stare at for a while you try to relax. It's one of my favorite things to do, that's for sure. Anyways, this is the Underconfident Human signing out. Thank you very much. I guess it's time to go, and I need to put my Trapper Keeper in my backpack. Just my little